Hi, this is Bob Santuski, founder of XBRLogic. I've spent several years automating the process of standardizing XBRL-based financial statements. My application has achieved a 95% success rate in automating the correction of errors and omissions and mapping XBRL extended and foreign concepts. The final 5% involves issues that the application has not encountered, or those that it has encountered but which are intractable due to insufficient information or ambiguity. Dealing with these issues requires human resources and time. So while 95% sounds good, the goal has always been full automation, which is 100%. I've discovered a way to get much closer to this goal, ironically enough, by going back to the HTML version of filings that XBRL was designed to replace. Let me show you how it works. I've been working with a 10K filing made by Matthews International in November. The XBRL version of the filing has already been processed to extract and organize its as-reported data. So the next step is to standardize the three primary statements. Notice that the standardized income statement and balance sheet are created, but the cash flow statement is not, due to an invalid subtotal. Before we take a closer look, we're going to parse the HTML version of the three statements. You'll see why shortly. Next, we go to the table manager. Let's first look at the two statements that did standardize correctly. The statements are being displayed here with as-reported statements on the left and standardized statements on the right. Now let's view the as-reported cash flow statement. We'll again run the standardization routine to confirm the exception. As you can see, the process fails due to an invalid subtotal, meaning that the numbers didn't add up to change in cash and equivalents, the validation concept for the cash flow statement. A quick check of subtotals reveals that cash from operating activities and from investment activities are both incorrect. At this point, I would normally pull up the 10K to manually identify the source of the problem. But now I have a new tool. The HTML version of the statements has already been parsed and is in a data structure that we can use. So here's the HTML version that we created earlier. Note that this is simply rows and columns with line items and values. Other than period information, no other metadata exists. But this by itself is useful. If we look at the components of the two invalid subtotals from XBRL, it's clear that two values are missing, 11,208 and 42,210. Missing values are unusual and typically caused by incorrect context. So let's go to this element in the instance file and take a look. Here's the element, and here's the first missing value, 11,208. And we can see in the context reference that the end date is incorrect. The year end is 9/30/20, not 6/30/20. We can confirm the error by looking at the context definition. This loss was incurred in the third fiscal quarter, and that's the period the company incorrectly attached to the value for full year reporting. Back to the table manager. We've used HTML data to help us identify the problem. But now what do we do? Well, since we know the HTML version is correct and valid, we can reverse tag the HTML statement from the XBRL statement, like this. Note that every primary element on the lower table has been assigned a corresponding tag from the upper table. So now we have a valid, fully tagged cash flow statement. The next step is obvious. We apply our standardization process to the HTML version. And of course, the process is now successful. And here's the standardized statement that we've just created. We've used HTML to fix XBRL. This may look like an arduous process, but remember that we're reviewing this in discrete steps for illustration purposes. In actual practice, the standardization will occur using XBRL, but if it fails, the application will automatically attempt to standardize using this new process and HTML, parsing, tagging, and standardizing automatically. It will add a few seconds to the process, but no manual intervention is required. There are multiple error types that this approach will correct: missing values, incorrect signs, invalid dimensional structures, incorrect value precision, and missing weights, to name a few. These error types comprise the bulk of the remaining 5% of statements that fail standardization. I expect this new functionality will enable the application to realize a fully automated success rate of over 99%. A final thought on this. There is considerable discussion about the need for an approach to XBRL audits and assurance. Using HTML as the reference document lies at the heart of any serious effort to validate the quality of XBRL data. I've applied my approach to the 3 primary statements, but this could easily be extended to every table and every fact reported in an XBRL filing. Thank you.